below is our agenda. So we will have some introduction, then we will discuss about the CPU, memory, and database uses. Then we have some hands-on demo. So what is the profiler actually? Profiler is a tool which measures our applications against the time, memory, and the CPU consumptions, which helps us to make application more faster and more reliable in case of heavy loads and um, in, so it performed very correctly even in case of loads. And like nowadays everyone wants that software and applications can access across the worlds, even from mobiles we are using. So there are a lot of devices coming in picture, so performance is very key point as now today. And many of the like projects companies more focusing on the profiling on their productions, even on their like pre-releases also, before before handling software to the or releases to the end user or client. So the profiler is very important point, and the Visual Studio has provided uh, some options for that, for profiling. Yeah, so this is one profiler's screenshot I have attached. So Visual Studio actually provide this number of tools like CPU, database, .NET Async, .NET Object Allocations, instrumentation, memory usage, event. So we are going through a few of them today. So basically CPU uses the Visual Studio provides the debugging and the release mode also. So like to check the CPU uses and the memory uses. The CPU uses, they check they calculate your when you start the debugging or run the code in a release mode. For that session, it's monitored the all CPU uses of your application. In case of memory also, in the debug mode also we can check the memory usage, and in release mode also we can check the memory usage for that duration. One thing is that in case of release mode, the memory usage is need to run isolated because of its heavy load or putting in the on system which we are running. So Microsoft recommends that, and even it forces us to do so. So we cannot run memory usage along with any other options. The database here, like in that for our session or whatever with the profiler session, they will track all our database operations, the queries, and it's mainly work with the .NET Core projects within ADO.NET and the entity framework, and that's available in Visual Studio 19 version greater 16.3 or later version. The another one is the .NET Object Allocation Tracking is somewhat great extent to the memory usage. It will actually show the what kind of objects which are it's used in our application, like value types, reference types, and number of their occurrences, uh, and their memory consumptions. Even this it shows the when the garbage character hits, all those details are shown over here, and .NET Async. So this is basically mainly for the async operations, like which are the parallel operations we can perform. And so it will show actually your start and end time of that async functions basically. So with today's hands-on demo, we are mainly covering the CPU usage, memory, database, and the .NET object allocation tracking. So let's switch to the demo. Are you able to view my screen? Yeah, thank you. So first start with our debug session. So I will change this to the So we can see our diagnostic tools started over here automatically. So it provides the two options, memory usage and the CPU usage. So it's recording the CPU. For memory usage, we will take one snapshot of memory at start of the this debugger or application start. So it will take some operations. I have added some string operations, some maths operations, some list operations, and some database operations over here. So we are like, this is the second endpoint. So we will take another snapshot of a memory over here. So if we look, these are the two snapshots we have taken for a memory. And these are the memory allocations we can see over here, and the CPU uh, readings over here. So if we see these two readings having the heap size and the object difference, the count which are showing, these are the newly added objects, and this is the size increase from the first debugger to the second end of the debugger over here. So if we click over here, so it will show us the, it will compare with our first snapshot actually, because that will act as a base for that. If we have multiple debugger, we will take the multiple snapshot over here and then we can compare between them. So if we check, there are the 3000 counts added over here for these objects. So these are actually showing the references over there, and here is actually what is the reference types they are having over here. So these are actually objects which are added at that list, 3000 objects. If you click to go definition, it will move to that class definition, that is the reference types. And if we check the function where that it used, so these are the list operations. It's how 3000 count. I just added list for the demo purpose. So again, if we click on sizes, so it will show the different sizes for them. It looks like they have by default sorted with the count difference and the size difference over here. So we can sort with this. There are some also options like collapse minimum objects. So we can focus on the major objects only. If you go find references, you can see the actual code snippet over below. These are the references over here, class and this new string. That's the where the for loop which we have seen. So we need to track actually how number of extra variables getting added between two breakpoints, and then we can visit them and then cross check with them which are the really necessary or which we can minimize. So according to that we have to work. Here again the CPU usage, we'll check. So we have also turned on the CPU usage over here. So if we see, these are some functions which are having, and these are the hotspots of functions which is taking more time. And this is the one pie chart they have provided with the top 5 categories. If the categories we see, this number of categories we have: the kernel, the IO, file system, JIT, networking, drivers, and others, even graphics also included over here. So this kind of pie chart they have provided here to, once we click on the hotspot, it will redirect us to this CPU usage window, and we can see over here like the total time consumption for this is 85.78%, but actual self CPU is a 0.43% only. So we can, if we go through it, so we can find it out where the actual extra time or it's getting or used over here. Or the best part is there is one expand hot option over here. So if we click it, it will show you which are the heavy operations actually done over here. So these are the operations. So this is the mostly time consuming operations. This is actually one database operations, which is our .NET Core DLLs, but it will focus us to it helps to focus us on that areas where the actually we are getting extra CPUs. And even not for that, even other operations also we can check that hot expand hot path. So it will among that hierarchy, which of them was taking more CPU. There are also options over here like functions. So this number of functions are getting calling. So even we can see the database operations over here is taking more time. So view call tree is again redirecting to our same option. There is one other module of view, or basically they have provided multiple views to check that. So these are the modules which get used in our this debugging session. So, and their CPU times actually over here. This is our test app, and in this these modules get used. It's showing actually entry point over here right now, and the another one is a caller and callee. So this is actually showing the calling function, the current function, and the call function which we are calling. So here we can see the percentage and the, whatever the CPU usage over here. So, and like uh, if you click on this, it will again show the inner function call, which is like database connections, then perform executing the procedure and all those actions. Also, like here are some other functions which are getting calling from this main function, like perform operations and all those. So with help of this, they are providing the views which functions taking more CPU, and we can focus on that functions to improve performance and minimize the CPU overhead also. Also with this help, we can have one like we can check the specific section of function CPU usage with the by selecting them. So it will, if you check, it will the pie chart is changing, all data is updating according to that. So whatever we have done changes over here, those according to that all data is getting filtered. So I will stop debugging, and now we will move to the mode. So this is actually profiling tool, we can say, and we can apply it to the any project, any running process, any exe, and some Windows Store apps also. And Microsoft recommended it should run in a, like we should try in a release mode, because it's get more closer to our production environments where we deploy the code actually in a release mode. So make it to release mode. Like Like, these are the options which are providing. If I click on memory usage, you can see the other options are disabled right now. So what Microsoft recommends, these are actually heavy operations over here, so Microsoft recommends it to run a standalone. So with this gearbox, like you can manage the profile types for that, manage only or all. So I will keep at default one only. We will start. So we will take a snapshot first. Now we can compare so like in a debug mode, what we have seen, like they are providing the number of extracted objects and the same details added over here, and we can compare the snapshots. And these are basically the same, like these are the actual instance which we are using. And if you go to view source, it will redirect to us to our source code. So in debug and the both mode, it will work similarly, but in release mode, it provides more accurate, and Microsoft recommends it's in a release mode only. So these are the some pointers we are showing. These actually garbage collectors happens over this time frame, our session. We will try another one, the CPU usage. So CPU usage also, they provided some configurations, like sample rate for, so they basically take the 1,000 samples per second, and that is the default one. We can configure at our own, even in a custom sample, someone wants, they can put. So in same manner, it will provide you the top 5 categories, the functions which are in most CPU. Also, you can like sort out or filter out the specific area which we want to see or explore more. So here also, like this is getting more time in functions that is showing. We can see also in the caller and callee. So we can get exact which function is getting called. So basically they are provided the multiple views over there to uh, check the which functions or which areas we need to focus. So even we can search about the uh, functions in here also. So that expand out path option is also available here. So it will show us the actual exact operation or function which are taking time. So I think I have, okay, let's clear the session. And now I try to search it. Yeah. So for whatever the time frame or area we have selected in that section, actually the function is not part of that. So because of that, we're not able to search it. So if I just clear that, and we can found that we can search the function, and it's providing the total CPU. The self CPU is actual itself executing, and these are the categories over here. Like it's a networking. So what these functions, what are the cat is falls in under which categories? Networking, file system, kernel, and so on. And we can save this also results. Now we can check the database. So these are the three operations I have performed. This is long running operation. So you can see the duration. Also, like it shows our the database, the connection string, and the query resource. We can customize the columns by from here. So we can actually go to the actual source file where that belongs over here. Here we can have filter also like the same which we have in CPU. So basically it's scanning the all your database operations which using ADO.NET and the entity framework. These options can be used with the CPU usage. So here we can have a CPU usage and the queries over here. And the best thing is that once we try to look at some part of the CPU at that same filter will apply on the queries also. So we can see the exactly if CPU hike is more here, exactly which database queries are running at the same time. So we can easily find out with this filtration option. This is now we'll try the .NET object allocation tracking. Here, like these are the some sample data options they have provided. The default is it will track the every object in our profiling session. So here, like we can see the types of the object, the system. These are the actually reference type, have a different icon, and this is the uh, value types which is in blue. So it will show us in that manner. So so this number of types of objects which we track in our current profiling session, and we can see the marks which represent the characters over here, and these are the number of allocations of the objects happens over the period. So we can check this is the highest one. So if we check this it will filter out the data according to that. So if we double click, it will show us the virtual functions which are this object getting referenced or used. So it will show. String concat is also operation. So here our list operations. Over here string concat is another one. So this is the actually operations which we perform on string. So with this help, they provide the all different types of value and reference types, because the .NET has their own garbage collector to collect the unused referenced types, but it puts an extra overhead over the application, because when the garbage collector runs, the application halted and all unreferenced variable get cleared, their memory gets shrinks, and then all their references then get updated, and then actually your code resumes. So sometimes in case of heavy usage, or then that this might get some problems or bottlenecks also. So with help of this, we can cross check the number of objects which we are using in our application. So I will just clear the selection. So this is the call tree. It's providing the same way which we seen in our CPU usage. Okay. Function. Okay. This collections actually shows the GCs, and they're collected and survive objects. And if we click on that, it will show us the top categories, which are the top categories and top survive categories, collected and the survive categories. So if we look at this this is the total allocation, the self allocation, and the self size. And they have other columns also, like average size and all. This is the operation TLS, in which this our operation TLS, in which we done the all operations. So here you can see the list operation, total allocated, and self allocation are these. So if we expand this, you can see the 3000s are allocated over here. So with this, we can see the number of which types actually we are allocating and their count. So basically with this help, we can, if extra some allocations which is not expected for like this number of allocation should not over here. So we can cross check them, then go to the code, then analyze it, and then we can change it. So it will help to find out those areas. Similar, it's provided all operations. And yeah, I think we'll cover the all areas. So if, then we will go to the Q&A section. Okay. So basically, Shruti shared me some questions about which already shared by the you guys, and there are some two questions. I will get back to you on that. The first one is about the WPF, as I don't have any experience on WPF, so I need to check over that. And the another one is how to create a task. I think that's regarding to asyncs. So I didn't get any exact whole idea about that question. So if I will check with the respective, and then I will get back to you or over email, or I will share with the Shruti. And Satya has just shared one question over here. What is the difference between total CPU and self matrix? So actually what's happened, we have different calls in a one function have another function calls another function. So when the calculate the totals, the inner functions total also getting allocated over here, and that's the total CPU. And whatever the actual execution of that own functions, that is the self CPU matrix comes over there. Also, someone asked about the load testing we can use. Microsoft provided some tools also, which some command line tools also, which we can run on a production or any other where we want to try to take the profiling session, but but there's a two-way process over there. So first we need to install that tool, and we need to configure that's provided that tool to some command line. From command line, we have to provide them some process ID, so they will track that process and profile and gather the data for that process. And Microsoft recommends it's very short period of time, and once they done, then we stop it. Whatever the files we have seen, that kind of files they get stored, and then we can get that files and open in Visual Studio. So we will have same kind of reports over there. Okay, there are two another questions. One from Dyer. For the profiler, is any special edition of Visual Studio is required. I'm using Visual Studio Professional Edition. I think you might see this screen differently, like this profile screen differently with respect to your frameworks or some Visual Studio versions also. But CPU usage and the memory usage will be available over there. Like database will available, like I shared in PPT. The database only available in Visual Studio 19, which have a version greater than 16.3. Also the .NET allocations, even .NET async is also available in version 2019. So this kind of restrictions, or we can say limitations, have over there to having the profiler options. Yeah, but that option is enabled in all, but just we might see some options disable, or we might hide or something. The Praveen has asked how can we monitor the different threads and the thread synchronization? So if you are running a multi-threading operation, and basically that will go into the .NET async areas. Uh, and with that async areas, we can find out the different with what are the functions which are getting called in that session, and they start and end time. Also, there are some areas where they some provides. So you can see the threads, different threads running over here in your application or in the session. So we can check those threads. But synchronization, I think you're talking about two threads runs, and when they're waiting for some common endpoint or something, I think that will be get covered. But I will check more on that and get back to you. Okay, so anyone has any other questions? Uh,
Rahul,
Hello.
have we answered for the profiler? Is there any special edition of Visual Studio is required? I think we covered this session as well.
Yeah, I have answered that. Sir. So basically, the profiler option available from whatever I search, it's from 2015 or 13 also. But there are some new add-ons about the database and asyncs. Those are available with 2019 and from the specific versions only.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, so might from the ID versions to version, we might see the different options or some different way to showcase that captured data. But yeah, but the profiler is will get available.
Thanks. Yes, do we have any more questions?
If there are any more questions, please raise. You can give a hand raise. I can unmute you and you can ask the question. Okay, so I think that's it. We don't have any more questions now. So, Rohan, anything else we are covering here?
Uh, no, Shruti, I have completed from my end.
Okay, okay, that's great. So, yes, yeah. So, okay, so I think we are about to close this webinar. So, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for joining this webinar. Thank you, Rohan. Thanks for conducting this webinar.
Yeah, thank you, Shruti, and thank you all. And sorry for the inconvenience which happened at start.
Great. So I have shared a feedback link in the chat window with all of you. So you can just quickly share your feedback with us for this webinar. And yeah, thank you so much for joining the webinar again. Thanks. Bye.